There are three things you have to do if you're Australian. You have to check pools for crocs before you jump in. You have to have a love-hate, will they, won't they relationship with the English. And if you have a YouTube channel, you have to review RØDE's latest microphones. It's compulsory. Now, I'm currently standing on this beach about 100 meters away from the camera, and I'm using RØDE's latest RØDE Wireless GO 2 to send my voice from here over there to the camera. Now, I'm only 100 meters away, and I'm getting concerned that the camera will even be able to see me. I mean, I can't see where the camera is exactly. If someone walked along right now and just nicked my camera, I'm not certain that I would have the sprinting speed to actually catch them. They would probably get away. The RØDE Wireless GO 2. Let's see what you get in the box. Safety first. It sounds good. You get a pouch. You get a 3.5mm audio cable. You get a few of these wind protectors. The design of these has improved since version 1 with a better twist and lock system. They give you a few USB-A to USB-C cables, but this is a bit lame actually, because this assumes that my devices still have USB-A, and I've almost entirely made the switch to USB-C. So I wish it came with USB-C to USB-C cables. That's a small quibble though. And the exciting news is that these can now send digital audio over USB. So rather than using all of these adapters to plug into my phone, I can now just use one USB cable. Okay, so that's all lovely and good, but what are the basics? What are you actually getting here? Well, this is a nice and compact wireless microphone system. You get 2 transmitters and a receiver. They're all these little square boxes with a clip on the bottom that also doubles as a shoe mount. They've essentially got the same buttons and ports that the version 1 of the RØDE Wireless GO had. Audio in on the transmitters, audio out on the receivers, and USB-C on every unit. A single tap on the power button on the transmitters now acts as a mute button, which is pretty cool. But basically they're just little square doodads that remind me of other square things, you know, like this mouse pad, and this coaster, and this square I just drew on a piece of paper. You probably think it's time for a message from the sponsor of this video, but no, I don't think you understand. RØDE didn't send me this. I had to pay for it. RØDE didn't ask me to make this review. I'm just worried that if I don't, I will pay for it with my life. So of course the big difference here is that with version 1 you got 1 receiver and 1 transmitter, but with version 2 you get 2 transmitters that can both send to the 1 receiver. So finally I can record ASMR on the go. Oh, literally. Well, let's see what it sounds like. Let's test this sound. I'm indoors, it's pretty quiet, there's just a bit of air conditioner noise behind me. Let's hear some ancient wisdom from Aristotle. Dignity does not consist in possessing honours, but in deserving them. Dignity does not consist in possessing honours, but in deserving them. Dignity does not consist in possessing honours, but in deserving them. Now I'm outside, there's a bit of a breeze and there's a busy road behind me. I've got wind filters on all of these mics. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honour. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honour. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honour. Now we're at the beach and it's even windier. Let's see what Aristotle has for us. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Now all of the samples you just heard were unprocessed, but I do find that with these kind of microphones, if you do a little bit of EQ tweaking, you can get a fair bit more quality out of them. So let's see what they all sound like when I've done a little bit of processing. Dignity does not consist in possessing honours, but in deserving them. Dignity does not consist in possessing honours, but in deserving them. Dignity does not consist in possessing honours, but in deserving them. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honour. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honour. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honour. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Now, in case you've lost the ability to think for yourself, they all sound really good. The new RØDE Wireless GO 2 does, to my ear, have some slight sonic improvements over the original, but the difference here really is subtle. And attaching something like the fairly cheap Lavalier GO microphone will still give you another extra boost over using the inbuilt microphone. Now, a little problem I've had with the Wireless Go V1 is to do with peaking. Even on the lowest gain settings, I've had to be careful how close I place the microphone to the source, because it's quite easy to make the recording clip. The newer V2 has lower gain settings, I'll talk about that in a couple minutes, and they're a massive help.
I'm yelling really rather quite loudly. I'm yelling really rather quite loudly. I'm yelling really rather quite loudly.
But that's enough of me. Let's try these with some different voices.
Hello, it's really nice to meet you.
Hello, this seems like a lovely outdoor setting.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Are you sure you want to put the camera there?
Yeah,
You're in the shot.
keep going.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? But I'd like to go somewhere else.
Where else would you like to go?
Cut there, yeah.
I'm glad we've gone inside.
Yes, indeed. I've been meaning to sit here and talk to you for some time.
I like listening to your voice.
I like listening to my voice too. I don't understand these lines. How should I be saying these?
Oh, you're doing great. Just neutrally, nice and neutral.
Right. Your voice sounds quite clear at the moment.
I was just going to say the same thing. This is the RØDE Lavalier GO, and this is what it sounds like.
I want to tell you also that this is the RØDE Lavalier GO, and this is also what it sounds like.
And now this is the RØDE Wireless GO. Oh, sorry.
That's my line, actually.
Sorry.
And now this is the RØDE Wireless GO 2, and this is what it sounds. What is this? Is this an ad?
Oh no, I wish. It's a review.
You said this was a short film. I'm a professional performer. I'm not some monkey for your http://youtube.com. Done with this.
HTTPS.
I'm happy to do a review.
You should have higher standards.
Is she still wearing the mic?
Oh crap, yeah.
Uniter.
Lexie. The line of sight connection is obviously great, as you saw at the beach.
Sprinting across. I'm sprinting. This is a sprinting test of the RØDE microphone. I'm sprinting.
But that was pretty great on the original model as well. What wasn't so good on the original model was getting the signal through any living human bodies. As soon as an actor would turn the wrong way so that their body was between the transmitter and the receiver, there would be a hell of a bunch of cutouts. Here you can see me performing a scientifically proven connection reliability experiment, which unfortunately showed that the new RØDE Wireless GO 2 suffers from exactly the same problem as the original model. Actually, in my test, it did worse, which is quite disappointing. For safety, wherever possible, I'm still going to be placing these on the sides of actors' hips where possible, so that there's always, hopefully, a direct line of connection between this and the receiver. The good news is that this annoying little quirk is no longer going to be such a huge issue, thanks to a very exciting new feature. The new V2 transmitters can record locally to a small memory card that's already built into them, which is mind-blowingly wonderful. You can record up to 7 hours uncompressed, which is similar to their battery life, or like 24 hours compressed, and that's obviously plenty.
It means I can be walking along like this, vlogging, holding nothing but my phone, just wearing a Wireless GO transmitter that's recording to itself locally. Granted, I do have to have the receiver on and nearby, but you can just stick that wherever you like.
I've actually found the same thing using one of these as a USB mic on the computer. I can't actually just plug in a transmitter and go. I have to plug in the receiver and keep it on at the same time as the transmitter. Basically, you can't just run away with one of these. You'll always need the receiver. Either way, it's pretty amazing. This is putting little Zoom recorders well out of business. You need to connect to the Sidekick software RØDE Central on Windows or Mac to activate and offload these recordings. And it even tells you exactly where the dropouts occurred in a recording like this one. To do all this from your phone would be amazing though, and hopefully it comes to Android and iOS at some point. Now I must mention that while making this video, I did have a couple of these recordings disappear or simply fail to actually record at all. I'm hoping it's just a little software bug. These devices are extremely new. It's also great to see easy firmware updates, as this implies feature tweaks and improvements will keep on coming. I can set the gain mode from coarse to fine, which gives me even more options here. On coarse, I can only go low, mid, high. On fine, I can go a bit lower on the gain there, which I like setting it nice and low at 30 dB. We've also got our audio channel mode. Currently it's split, which means we've got each microphone going to a separate audio channel. We can change this to merged if we like. And then that gives us the option to turn on this safety channel, which will basically automatically send a copy of our merged audio track to another track with another minus 20 dB on it. So that's going to be very good if you're around what could be some very loud noises.
I'm yelling as loudly as I possibly can!
There's so much possibility with these microphones. For example, if you've got the transmitters recording to themselves, you could just use the receiver for wireless headphone monitoring. They're still compatible with any other microphones you'd like to plug in, and let's be honest, as cool as it is that I can slip one of these into my niece's pocket without telling her what it is and spy on her conversations, for most situations, a lapel like this still looks better than a chunky GO on your chest. You can also plug in like self-powered shotgun microphones, which would be awesome for boom operating without wires to the camera. And they work with all the same accessories as the previous version, like this great magnet which lets you attach the transmitter basically anywhere, and this double shoe mount, and this 3.5mm splitter cable, which takes on a whole new meaning. If you had 2 sets of the RØDE Wireless GO 2, you could record from 4 transmitters all into the one stereo jack on your camera. Though this does mean that you'd have to link the inputs on each receiver, and its 2 microphones would be on a single track, so you wouldn't be able to adjust their levels independently in post. Look, this is the best wireless microphone system for almost everyone who wants one at a fair price. That's it, that's the conclusion. There's nothing else to say. Whew, my duty has been fulfilled. That is a patriotic weight off my back. Advance Australia Fair.